If your footage is looking flat and boring, it's not usually the camera, it's these three settings. Let me set up a little scene and I'll show you exactly what I mean. Right, so the three settings that I'm going to talk about are ISO, shutter speed and aperture. And it doesn't matter if you're shooting on a DSLR, a smartphone, or in this case I'm filming this on a mirrorless system as well. Now ISO, this controls the light and it controls how sensitive the sensor becomes to light. Now I'm filming this and the ISO on the camera is at 500. Now what I want to do is I'm going to decrease it down to about 100 and you can see what effect that has on the camera. So just bear with me and we're dropping that down and that is ISO 100, and as you can see it makes everything completely dark. So what we want to do now is increase that all the way up and you'll see what effect it has going the opposite direction. So there we go, as we're creeping up. So that is 500 where we had it before, and we're going to increase and increase and increase. And as you can see now, everything is really bright. The back wall is blown out completely, my face is all blown out. And that is at ISO 2000. So it doesn't look good at all. So we need to find that balance. But as you'll find, each setting has an impact on the rest of the settings in this triangle, and this is where it can get a little bit confusing. So I'm going to drop this back down and then I'm going to set the little scene up and I'm going to explain all three together. Right then, so that was ISO, and next I'm going to show you the shutter speed and just what impact that can have, and I'm going to use a fan for that, so give me 2 minutes to set that up. Right then, so for this next section, which is shutter speed, I'm going to be doing it on the smartphone, okay, and I'm doing screen record on this so you'll be able to see what happens basically. So here we go, I'm going to turn the fan on and as you can see that is nicely spinning, and I'm just going to take one photo with it just in auto mode, which is what we've got there. So what I'm going to do now is going to go into pro mode, and what I want to do is look at the shutter speed, and at the moment the shutter speed is 155. okay, so what I want, I'm going to drop that down to 0.3 of a second, and as you can see everything has gone really bright, really horrible, and I'm just going to click that and that's done, and that is going to be massively overexposed, blown out completely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed it up to about 1,000th of a second, okay, and there we go, and that is that button there, and that is really dark, really horrible. So what we need to do is either change the ISO, or if we were using a DSLR or a mirrorless camera, we'd change the aperture of the lens, and again that is going to cause a bit of chaos. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the ISO. The ISO is on 50, so the shutter speed is now at 1/90th, and what I want to do is I want to kind of freeze the blades going round to 250th of a second. There we go. So that's going to freeze the action, but it's going to be very dark. So what we're going to do is increase the ISO. Pop the ISO up to about 500. Shutter speed still the same, and we're going to press that button again. And it freezes the action, and this is what happens. The settings that you need to change, they all interact with each other. So that freezes the action completely. If I wanted to make that slightly blurry, what I could do is lower the shutter speed. I would have to decrease the ISO, so we'll drop that back down to about 80, maybe 50 might be better, and then we'll try that again. And what that'll do is that just blurs everything, but you're still getting an accurate shot because we've changed the ISO. So what I'm going to do now is use a little figure and the DSLR, and we'll show you how aperture can change the scene basically. It's aperture on your smartphone is fixed, so you can't change that. That is a big drawback, but by tweaking the other two settings you can generally create the scene and the mood that you want for the type of image that you're recording. So the next setting is aperture, and you'll find this on your camera there, and it is generally an F number. So this is on f4.5, And I've chosen this camera because it's got the kit lens on, and this is the camera that once you've grown out of your smartphone, you want to get a little bit more creative, have more flexible options in creating content, you're going to want something like this or a mirrorless where you can interchange the lenses. But most cameras will come with a kit lens, so it's a good starting point to use. Okay, so this one is set and it is at 4.5. So I'm going to snap a picture and you'll be able to see what that means in the scene. Okay, and for this scene we've got my little apprentice Chad. He's been with me for about 4 years now, and as you can see with that set at 4.5 we have got quite a blurry background, and this is what happens. The aperture controls the amount of light that is coming into the sensor, but it is real natural light, unlike ISO, which is fake light. Basically it's generated internally, it's not actual sunlight or anything like that. So what the aperture does, it has a ring inside and it expands and it contracts. Now f4.5 is probably about that, f16 will be like that. And what we're going to do now is we're going to pop it into f16 just to see what change that actually makes to the scene as a whole. Okay, so that is up on f16. In fact, I'm going to pop it on f18 just to give you a better idea. Then I'm going to snap another picture and then we're going to see how that looks on screen. Okay, so that shot was shot on f18 and it was incredibly dark to start with, as you can see now. So what I had to do, I had to bump up the ISO to 1600 and put the shutter speed at 1/20th of a second. So that makes a massive difference to the overall look and feel of the picture. And this is the thing, every single thing that you do within your camera or your smartphone is going to be a compromise on the actual shot. There's no hard and fast rules of this. So you'll find with photography and cinematography, everything is a compromise. Everything along that triangle, if you change one setting, it will affect the others. And it's finding the right balance, okay? Like I said, there's no hard and fast rules. And you can do whatever it is you want to create the effects that you want. And it's easier to do it in camera and develop your own style than it is to spend 20 quid on a look pack that probably isn't going to look brilliant because your camera settings weren't right in the first place. If you can master these 3 settings, you're going to transform not only your photography, but your cinematography as well. And just practice is all I can really say. The only way you're going to learn is by practicing. So I hope you can follow along with this. Try a different experiment with a fan. Go outside, try the difference between natural light and indoor light, because that'll affect the settings as well. And the more you can practice, the more confident you're going to get and the better your content's going to be in the short amount of time. So good luck, get snapping, get creating. Let me know your thoughts below.